Josh! Josh! You got filming to do. What is this? Is he not showing? Dear Davy and Ashley, we have Josh, the film bestie. We are dangerous men, and we will keep him as long as needs be.
Do you think he'll be all right?
But don't worry. There's one thing I know about my brother is there's nothing he can't handle.
Don't kill me. Please. I won't tell anyone, I swear.
If you ever want him back, it is going to cost you. We want... Actually, they want your case of Waka bars, or they're going to kill him.
You're gonna miss your brother.
It's just like Harold. Do you like fun and adventure? Then sit back and enjoy the Brothers Not Lovers, as they discuss all things movies. What's overrated or underrated? What makes you go really? Or how dare you? Or even just simply how funny this movie can be. You have the insightful, intuitive Davy, who is awesome. And you have the film bestie, Josh. He's there. Hi, I'm Davy, and I'm awesome. And this is Josh, the film bestie.
She gave up the Wonka bars, just so you know.
And it's time that we review the follow-up to the last movie that we've reviewed. This movie was made in 2015, and it was directed by Gregory Hatanaka, who also wrote it with Rich Mallory, Tony T.L. Young, and it was based on characters created by Amir Shervin, the director from the original movie, who passed away in 2006, way before this one was made. And it was produced by Matthew Kaderis, Rich Mallory, Chris Falsini, Michael P. Belvins. By the way, if I mispronounce any of these names, I'm really sorry. And it was made by Sinrich Entertainment and distributed by Cinema Epoch, the company that bought the rights to Samurai Cop. Ladies and gentlemen, the long... Can't really say it waited, because nobody ever thought it would get a sequel. But the sequel to...
It was a nice surprise.
It was. The movie that is the result of a Kickstarter campaign. Samurai Cop 2. Deadly Vengeance. This movie opens in 1991, supposedly a few weeks after the original one ended.
Anyway, you're getting it easy, man. 5 weeks paid vacation.
Man, it must have been a rough few weeks. Looks like they aged about, what, 20 years?
Well, look who's here.
Hey, stranger.
That's Jennifer. Not played by the original actress Janice Farley, because after Samurai Cop, she quit acting. That was her first and last movie.
We all believe you, dude.
So to replace her, playing Jennifer, they got someone that, well, I'm sure Josh knows very well.
I do. I really do. Caden Cross.
What do you think if we maybe had a couple of samurais of our own?
Jennifer and Joe are now married.
I just want you to know that after all these years together,
All these years together. In the beginning it said 1991, which is when the other movie is set.
Hey, you have a silly little thing like timelines interfere with the bad movie.
Fair enough. Some teenager walks up to Joe and Jennifer while they're having their moment to tell Joe that since he's a cop, how the teenager would know this considering Joe's not wearing a uniform or anything is beyond me, but tells him his little sister is missing and asks him to help him find her. And literally the second Joe gets up, you couldn't at least let him walk like a foot away?
No.
Hey, don't get very emotional, dude.
Better. Way better.
Then we go to a scene with a senator who has just signed a trade agreement for the Senjoku, rivals of the Katana.
Weren't they wiped out in the first movie?
Apparently, only a little. Since this is now going to start a war between the two, they send in a little assassin. I'll kill you! That's really the only part of this scene I can show you.
You can't see it, but I can. I can.
If you want to see it, you're just going to have to go watch the movie.
Watch it.
Because I guarantee you, YouTube will not allow anybody to put this scene up there. And to show you how consistent the storyline is,
I have spent the past 20 years rebuilding this organization.
But he's dead! We saw it!
and that is the same actor, Cranston Kimura, making this the second movie he's ever done.
Cranston? No, he was also in Breaking Bad.
Not Bryan Cranston.
Oh.
Idiot. Fujiyama is informing them that Joe Marshall is back.
Joe Marshall? That's impossible.
That's Doji Chan,
Bai Ling.
who, unless you count the porn stars in this movie, is the only name actress in this movie.
Hey, Melissa Moore's in this.
I wouldn't really call her a name actress. She's like a B-movie actress.
She earned her status throughout the 80s and 90s. Just let her
As a B-movie actress. Bai Ling, on the other hand, hasn't done a lot of great stuff, but she's been in some classics like Anna and the King.
Do you take this directive of honor?
Well, considering the biggest thing she's done since The Crow was Crank 2 High Voltage, yeah, she's gonna take the directive. She needs the money. Then we get reintroduced to Frank Washington and his new partner, Athena.
We have a Yakuza clan war on our hands between the Ginzas and the Katanas.
Played by another B-movie icon, Lorraine Landon, most known for her role as Teresa Mallory in
Maniac Cop.
That's so cool. Let me try it. Maniac Cop.
No, that's not how it goes. It's
Maniac Cop.
How the hell do you do that?
I'll never tell. Then we meet Kintaro.
Honorable Master Kitano!
The biggest difference between these two Yakuza gangs is that one, the Katana, only has a couple of Asian people in it, whereas the Senjoku doesn't have any in a Yakuza gang. And now, a fight breaks out.
The Katana has risen! Surrender to the Katana!
Sure. Once the fight is over,
Hi girls, lunchtime.
ooh, burgers.
No, pizza.
Burgers.
Pizza.
Burgers.
Pizza.
Burgers!
Pizza!
Smell like cabbage! And she'll have tacos! Frank and Athena show up.
Yakuza, Ginza, Shikuzu.
Ginsu.
Tasties! All great knives. Athena tells Frank that he shouldn't be on this case.
If anyone knows anything about Oriental culture and their operation, you know it's me.
Yes, it's the guy who in the last movie had to be told what a katana was.
In the next movie, he's going to learn what a wok is.
Frank meets with Police Chief Robert Harmon about being on the case. The police chief, though, is hung up on the fact that Frank didn't get a statement from the club owner about the gunfight.
Not have a statement from the owner!
The police chief is played by Joe Estevez, the unsuccessful younger brother of Martin Sheen, and uncle to Charlie Sheen in Don't Do It.
Okay.
I mean it. Don't do it.
I won't do it.
Emilio Estevez.
Emilio!
Just then, Frank goes to find a man named Budakawa.
Well, that narrows it down.
When he gets there, he meets this guy. Joe Marshall!
Marshall!
Can you believe it?
Yes! And it's his real hair!
Truth is, though, that almost didn't happen. See, Matthew Kaddaras, who goes by his real name in this movie, in the credits, in the original movie did not. He went by the name Matt Hammett. Because of the fact that they couldn't find Matt Hammond, though, the makers of this movie believed the rumors that Matt Hammond was dead. And therefore, the original script had Frank teaming up with Joe Marshall's daughter. However, when it was leaked online that they were going to have Joe Marshall's daughter, Matthew Kaddaras' actual daughter contacted them and said, "My dad is not dead, he's alive and well." so they contacted him and got him to be in this movie. Frank is trying to convince Joe to come back to the police and help them in this Yakuza war.
I have no stake in this fight, Frank.
Just then... How about now? After the ninjas are all killed, Frank tells Joe his theory.
I just get this feeling that this is all connected to Jennifer's death 25 years ago.
Of course. Wouldn't be a cliche if it wasn't.
Joe doesn't want to help, but Frank convinces him one more time.
And then you can rain down your deadly vengeance.
No,
He said it!
He said it!
Let me grab my gear.
Bangarang! On the plane back to San Francisco, Joe meets this woman.
I'm Elena.
And wouldn't you know it, she looks exactly like Jennifer.
Well, the second Jennifer.
Right. Just then,
Follow my plan! The time is now! Kill them!
turns out that Joe, Frank, the katana, and the Senjoku are all on this flight.
Oh, the sweet irony.
I'm not sure a plane is a good place to have this kind of a fight. Then the katana leave. The plane is in the air. Where did they go?
Let's go back to the office.
Where did they go? Back at the police station.
Did you recognize anyone on the plane?
No.
Why didn't you just arrest the katana and the Senjoku? It is not like they could have left. And then Joe makes a move on Melina.
Can I take you home?
Yes.
First, we can stop by my place.
Hope you like matching thong bikinis.
And just to show you how much of the original cast they could get into this movie, Frank takes Joe to a diner.
Oh my God. Joe!
Peggy, how are you?
It's Peggy! Go ahead.
It's a lesson more.
And now Peggy has a daughter.
Are you my daddy?
You know what? That is possible. But then again, Frank could be your daddy too. Peggy gives them information about the Senjoku, including the son of the master Katano who died, and how he is the heir and now master of the Senjoku. That's the heir, Linton.
Played by Tommy Wiseau.
Is that his mother next to him, or is that a statue of his mother?
You're tearing me apart, Mama Statue.
You know, the last time he freaked out like this, he killed himself.
We don't care if you get it.
And it was in a room.
Yeah, the room.
Joe goes to the police station and meets Athena, who offers him a cash shoot.
I love my nuts.
After their briefing, they head out.
Spanish.
Of course, right now they're talking about the script.
Who is he again?
Joe Estevez.
And is he the uncle of?
No. No.
Emilio!
Back to Linton, he's taking care of one of his men who failed.
Are here by the order to commit harakiri.
And it gets a lot weirder. Yeah, us making weird noises made just as much sense. Joe and Melina are getting to know each other.
Have you ever thought about going blonde?
Yeah, good idea. Get your new girlfriend to look exactly like your dead wife. Should go well. Then, we cut to Joe and Frank, who are staking out the katana, waiting for the Senjoku to arrive.
They're here. I'm going in.
Really? So Joe heads out. Then, after fighting for a minute, goes to a bar where nobody is fighting.
I guess the bar is safe?
Would you care for some kale chips?
No one in existence would like some kale chips.
Oh, God, no.
But for some reason this movie keeps pushing kale chips on people. Who would even want that? Like, hey, you know that nasty kale stuff? Well, we dehydrated it and made it into a chip. Want some?
How about some hummus with those kale chips?
Maybe we can dip them into some coleslaw.
Emilio!
Sure you wouldn't like something a little stronger?
Ralph Garman, who is a co-host on a podcast, Hollywood Babylon, with Kevin Smith, got this part as the bartender because he donated the most on the Kickstarter fund. And then Doji meets Joe, officially.
Who met you?
Joe.
You know, we met on the plane.
I'm sure you know who I am.
Yeah, just like she already knew who he was.
I have a secret, Mr. Joe.
This is sadly one of my crowning moments as an actress. Then Melina shows up.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Wow.
And suddenly she has long blonde hair.
Then Fujiyama shows up.
This is the land of opportunity and freedom.
And another fight breaks out.
That is clearly a Nerf gun. I should know. I was held hostage by one earlier.
Cover me, Joe.
What?
She's gonna explain it, right?
No. She just goes home.
Conquest shall be ours, my love.
And she gets her old hair back.
Seriously, is she gonna change hairstyles like he did?
Seriously, there's no continuity with hair in these movies.
Joe and Melina spend the night together, and Joe has some really crazy dreams that I cannot show you.
But I can describe it to you.
No, you won't.
Oh yeah. See, first what happens is, and then the two, and then they were. It was awesome.
The next day, Frank comes in to tell Joe that Melina is not who she says she is.
Duh.
And that she slipped Joe some hallucinogens. So Joe thinks back. At that moment, you really didn't think something was up?
Maybe you thought it was blueberry, raspberry Mio or something.
Linton is training.
You know how to hold a sword, don't you?
You don't.
Holds the sword like he holds those flowers.
We don't care if you get it. Frank and Joe are taken off the case because the FBI is taking over, and leading the case is the actual head of the Gozu.
Investigation.
What the hell is that?
Vitamins and herbs. Very good for you. I take 50 a day.
Yeah, that's why you look like that. Vitamins and herbs.
Emilio!
Frank ends up getting suspended, and Joe goes to his place to talk to him into continuing anyway.
Frank, I'm being serious.
Frank's convinced. Apparently in between movies, Joe was training with John Cena! Joe goes to meet with his old friend Lucky, and then meets with another old acquaintance. Just in case you don't remember him,
Lucky isn't telling you the whole story.
he gives Joe a map and a key to the complex headquarters.
You know, 25 years ago, I lost my arm, but I was given a new life.
Yeah, he decided to find a career other than acting. Now, because this movie was made by fans of the first Samurai Cop, and they just had to get as many people from the first movie in this one, while Joe is meditating.
Okamura?
And I'm sure he's happy to see you.
I need for you to infiltrate the complex.
Yes, you convinced me to do what I was already gonna do. Seriously, that would have been like if he appeared to me in a dream and said, "You need to review Samurai Cop 2." That was already the plan.
Davey, we need to review that movie, Samurai Cop 2.
Yes, you're right.
This is your destiny.
Linton is getting ready. He's not gonna make it. Joe finally enters the complex and comes face to face with this guy. Okay, you and Joe are both Americans.
Yeah, you don't have to pretend to speak Japanese.
I'm sure this is very offensive. I don't know what's worse. Bad dubbing or the bad subtitles? I think bad dubbing is way better. Haha! Oh! Well, that's a goal.
Ew.
That's what you get for wanting other people to drink your pee.
Should've gone to Japanese school.
The food alone is worth the trip.
The food, sir. Japanese girls, Japanese girls, Japanese girls.
Joe runs into the FBI director.
Should have stopped when he had the chance.
And by that he means you should have passed on the sequel. But this guy saves Joe. Good for Joe.
Joe, go on your way. Remember,
Don't tell him what to do. Then Joe once again meets with Fujiyama.
You passed to the next level, samurai. But it ends here.
Why does this movie remind me so much of like when we were little kids and played with like toy swords? Odd music to play for that scene. Is he actually dead this time, or is he going to come back for Samurai Cop 3?
Is that... Are they working on that?
God, I hope not. Joe faces with Doji, who stole some shoes from the Spice Girls. Well, how did he ever dodge that?
Say goodbye!
Bye.
Death is only a memento. Blink of eye.
That's a lot of blood!
Now Athena is there.
Why are you using that medieval thing?
Because it brings me good luck, Frank.
And apparently she's a samurai now too.
Well, not a good enough samurai. She couldn't beat Robert Zadar in Maniac Cop 2.
Okay. Then we have the showdown between Linton and Joe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, boy. Yeah!
There is no more room for words, Joe.
Remember he said that.
This is my destiny, Joe!
Okay. Fight then.
But I can stop myself. But I will not stop myself.
So fight him then, dude.
Okay, what part of no room for words is he not getting?
I eat them for breakfast, Joe!
Just fight him, yo!
Finally!
I will piss on your eyes!
Dude, the Senjoku are awfully obsessed with pee.
Seriously? I know there's a bunch of white guys playing it, but enough of stereotyping the Japanese here.
Seriously. Well, that was anticlimactic.
It's all big nothing. And now, there's more time for words.
There is something I have to tell you, Samurai.
He tells Joe that when he was first starting out on Senjoku, he had to do an initiation. His initiation, he had to kill a girl. Which girl?
She was so beautiful. Most beautiful girl I ever saw. Long hair, stained in red blood.
What color blood?
Red blood, Joe.
No, one more time. I'm not getting that. What?
Red!
Joe gives Linton a dagger and is going to help him commit harikiri.
Yeah, that's Harry Carey, Davey.
Just when?
Don't kill him, Joe.
Why would she care?
Linton's my brother.
Of course.
She explains that all of this was just to take down the katana, who is evil.
You've brought peace to the Shinjukus, Joe. We're good people.
Yes, good people who tried to kill you, killed a bunch of other people, including your wife. Great people!
Bye, Joe.
And Joe just leaves. That's it. The end.
No. Lexi Bell has one more thing to say.
It's not over, Joe Marshall!
So there you have it. That's Samurai Cop 2, Deadly Vengeance.
And for those of you who are still watching and haven't hanged yourselves, you passed the test. You are just as useless as the two of us are.
So this movie was very entertaining because it was such a frickin' train wreck. It made no sense whatsoever. Followed no continuity. Didn't follow timelines like we talked about in the beginning. In the beginning it says 1991, which is the first movie, but then they're talking about they've been married for years. How? Did you go into a time warp?
Let's do the time warp again. Let's just jump to the left.
And then a step to the right.
And you put your hands on your hips.
And bring your knees in tight.
But, it's the pelvic thrust that really drives them to sing.
Sorry, we love that movie. But yeah, and then they had things like, they had Fujiyama in there, who died in the first movie. They had to throw in Akamura. They had to throw in the guy who had lost his arm.
That was that. I thought it was bad enough they put Tommy Wiseau in this. I mean, I love Tommy, but wow.
Yeah. And apparently Tommy Wiseau, every time he got up to do his part, had to be fed his lines from off screen, and still got a lot of them wrong.
The man's genius will not be questioned, don't you dare.
Genius, that whole scene of him rambling on and on after saying no more time for words.
There wasn't.
No, apparently there was 5 minutes more time for words. That was all ad-libbed and didn't even make sense. Nobody can stop me, but I can stop me and I won't stop myself. Like, what?
You just don't understand the method to his madness.
Fair enough, I don't. But the biggest issue, though, I do have with this movie, Samurai Cop was definitely a bad movie, but it didn't seem like they were setting out to make a bad movie. It seemed like Amir Shervin was doing the best he knew how to do with what he had. You know, could have done better, but basically it seemed like to him he was setting out to make a good movie. Probably looked at it and said, this is a good movie, kind of like the director of Troll 2 still thinks it's a good movie. Kind of like Tommy Wiseau still thinks The Room is a masterpiece. It is, but in different ways. This movie, though, seems like they were setting out to let's make the most ridiculous train wreck we can.
And it worked. There were no survivors.
Actually, everybody survived.
I meant from the audience.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Unless you were David Stone from Unbreakable, no one in the audience could survive this.
There are talks of them. They're trying to raise money to make Samurai Cop 3.
Please, God, do.
You know, I joke that I don't want them to, but I can't wait.
They might finally put Joe's daughter in this. She could hook up with Tommy Wiseau's character.
Yeah, that could happen. I mean, technically he didn't die at the end, and heck, even if he did, they'll just pretend he didn't, like everybody else. Doji will be in it too.
So will Armless. And who knows, Caden Cross might return as Joe's wife, having been alive this whole time.
Then there was that, like, obviously they didn't care about the acting in this, when most of the female actresses were in fact porn stars. So ultimately, like the last movie, if you're a fan of those just awesomely terrible movies that are so bad that they just entertain you, however, if you're somebody who's like, no, I only watch movies that are good and have good budgets and great acting and win awards. Why are you even watching our reviews?
Yeah, seriously. It's like an Amish person watching TV.
Definitely recommend this train wreck of a movie. If nothing else, it'll make you laugh. And, you know, last time he came up with the drinking game of how often Joe's wig changed. This one, take a drink every time you see kale chips. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. And if you did, make sure to hit like. Hit subscribe.
Wait.
What?
We almost forgot the most important part of this video.
What?
Ken Lindsay.
Author of the Gavin English series and the River Runes, available at kenlindsaybooks.com. And leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of Samurai Cop 2 and Samurai Cop 1. Tell us if you want Samurai Cop 3. Tell me how sad you're going to be when I kill him. Love you guys.